You followed the training, you've built the skills, and you became the therapist. But now you're wondering, is this it? Beyond the therapy room is where we have the conversations most therapists are thinking, but not saying out loud. There's Sky, psychologist and mentor, and Ali, counsellor and tantric healer, bringing two perspectives, clinical and intuitive, structured and expansive. We talk burnout, identity, spirituality, business, relationships, and what happens when you stop playing by the rules that you were trained in. This is for the therapist who knows there's more. Two different paths, two different perspectives, but the same truth. There's more available to you than the box you were trained in. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Therapy Room, where today Sky and I are going to explore some of the biggest mistakes that we ourselves have made as therapists, but that we see other therapists making too. And so we want to explore those patterns and beliefs that keep us playing small and not actually putting ourselves out there to promote or to let people know who we are and
what we're doing in business,
what we can offer them. Yeah. So for those of you listening, it doesn't matter where you're at in your clinical practice or journey so far. You could be just starting out, or like Sky and I have been, supporting people in our communities for decades.
Shh, don't tell my age, Ali.
We all make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And I think it's okay to own our mistakes and to talk about them, because that's how we learn and how we grow, and how we can also show other people that it's okay to be imperfect,
yes,
and human, and figure things out as we go, not have it all sorted out up front.
Yeah, and do it anyway, right?
That's right. Don't hold back because you're concerned about what you'll look like or the mistakes you may make.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the first things that we want to talk about, right? Like that idea of having to wait until you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a certain point where we think we're going to get to where we're like, oh yeah, it's good now, I can do the thing. Only, what's your experience been of that?
Yeah, I'm big on learning. I'm a lifelong learner. And so I knew that I could help people when I'd just done a certificate for in community services work. I was case managing.
Yeah.
But there was no way I thought I could do one-on-one therapy work until I had the qualification to do that.
Yeah.
And even though I'm talking to people one-on-one all the time, mainstream psychology practice, we want to make sure we are ticking boxes for qualifications. But then I think you already know, Sky, I've been on this journey of wanting to learn so many other things too since then.
Yeah.
But integrating our learning is important too, being able to apply it, not just be it I could see myself as a squirrel gathering all these nuts and these qualifications and information, but not actually sharing with anybody about what I've learned or what I'm capable of supporting people through now.
I think the sentence that I hear a lot of people say is, I'll do it when, right? I'll do it when I've got the extra qualification. I'll do it when I feel more confident. I'll do it when, I don't know, the stars fucking align or whatever it is, right? We're always waiting till whenever.
Yeah, and it's always over there.
Yes.
It's never in this now moment. We're always chasing a future moment of now.
Yeah.
When everything is ready and perfect and aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of feeds into the things that imposter syndrome of if I start now and I'm not ready, then people are going to see that I'm not capable or I can't do the therapy, right? Insert anything, right? We get caught up in this idea of what it should be like versus everybody starts somewhere.
That's right. And when you're talking about that, Sky, it makes me really think about that overly monitoring part of myself that worries about how I'll be received or overthinks about my reputation or, am I coming across as professional or polished enough for social media?
Yeah. Am I getting it right? Am I looking perfect? Of those things that, we've talked about in other episodes, these identities that get us really stuck.
Yeah.
And have us we were talking a minute ago before we hit the record button about how awareness is really, really important. But most psychologists, therapists, professionals, you're really fucking capable people. You're intelligent humans. But when it comes to growing a business, we're human too.
That's right.
And it's that ability to move beyond awareness into actually actioning what we know.
Yes. Follow through.
Yes. And that can be really scary.
Absolutely it can. It's daunting to be putting yourself in the arena, as they say, or in the spotlight. And we're doing that in our room in front of people and sharing our approaches to therapy. But if you are expanding beyond the therapy room or thinking about, you know, more visible spaces like online or in your community, then those things start to show up, and they're those challenges we have to face and overcome.
And they show up in different ways too, right? Like they're quite sneaky and tricky. And I think, you know, the money, especially when you're the health professional and you start asking to be paid for your service, like that money story becomes really tricky. And so I've noticed like therapists when they go into careers early, and I don't know what your experience was like, we undercharge.
Yes.
Or we don't look at business in terms of what we need to make in terms of profit, loss, because we're so wanting, I guess, people to perceive us in a certain way, or to have a certain population be able to access a service, or
that's right.
There's all these stories that we make for ourselves.
I think it's really important even just to consider as an individual, you know, therapist aside, what is your money story? What kind of messaging did you get growing up around, you know, what money means to you, or whether you are allowed to have abundance financially? And
yes, the word when you just said that, the biggest thing for me was receive, right?
Yes.
Because money is something that we receive, and if you have guilt around receiving, which is, you know, a lot of health professionals do, right? It's like, we're here to help you, not to
we're
take.
Givers.
So when we have to receive something like money, the nervous system, it becomes really uncomfortable.
That's right. And I remember when you first started you know, instilling a cancellation fee for clients who were either like no-shows or last-minute cancellations. And I thought it took me a long time to consider whether I could allow myself to do that too or not.
Yeah.
But, you know, your time is valuable, and the services and offerings that you provide to other people, you know, they do want to pay for that, and they do need that.
Yes.
And that is your bread and butter money taken home to your family. So, you know, in some respects, it's really important for you yourself to value your time enough to be able to honour a cancellation fee too.
Yeah, and I think the mistake comes with money when we tie it into the emotion and how we're feeling versus the actual structure and the foundation and the business and the model itself.
Yeah, and here's a funny story dating back to when we were in COVID lockdown. I remember so many services started to really put those cancellation fees in place.
Yeah.
And I still hadn't yet. And I remember receiving, like, people were going for haircuts, but then they get a cancellation fee because they didn't turn up, or they cancelled last minute, or even nail technicians. And I'm like, Ali, if nail technicians and people providing haircuts provide a cancellation fee, why can't you?
Yeah. It can be across the board, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, like you were just talking about then, it's we get caught up in the right way, or what is everybody else doing? You know, what's Betty down the street doing in terms of cancellation policy or not cancellation policy? And if we're not careful, we may start to copy people or services or businesses that really are not helpful for us and where we're going and what we want to achieve.
That's true, yeah. I found that one showing up for me when I started looking at other therapists online even, and going, well, if they're confident enough to talk about this or that, or they're showing up every day, I've got to do the same, or like, why aren't I doing what they're doing? And that one's, it runs pretty deep, that comparison, or that, like, I think it shows up when we're anxious or uncertain about how to behave in a situation or what to do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we'll just mimic others, won't we? And that the sad part about that is we lose our authentic voice, don't we?
Well, we lose that kind of essence that makes us who we are and what attracts people to us in our work.
Exactly. And we begin sounding like you're parroting someone else.
Like the carbon copy.
Yeah, just regurgitating somebody else's words. And that's loses its spark, doesn't it?
I think my coach said something that was really important to me, because I was very caught up in the comparison piece, and I was like, oh my God, people look way more professional than me online, and they're not swearing and they're not doing the thing. And she was like, well, find somebody that you want to work towards, not necessarily being, but the things that you like about them, and then look at how you can kind of start to like do things your way, in a way that emulates what they're doing.
Yes.
Versus just being a carbon copy or this rigid kind of fixing of I have to do it this way.
Yeah.
And so we can learn and we can take information from other people and other businesses, but ultimately we need to come back to who we are.
Absolutely. And like what I'm thinking about as you're saying that, Sky, is yes, by all means have admiration for someone and be inspired by them. But I think especially in the age of AI, where a lot of people like online are producing content straight out of AI, you being your authentic self, like if someone took away all of your branding, for example, Sky, from your social media, they would still immediately know it's you because you swear or because you talk about your ADHD so comfortably.
Yeah.
You know, so that authenticity and that rawness of who you are, your essence, is still shining through.
Yeah.
Which I think in this day and age, humans need that. And we want more authentic and genuine connection with others. So, yeah, don't go copying someone. I think that's a big mistake. Just be you.
And when you were just talking then, I think another point too is that connection piece, right? Because if we are watering ourselves down, and I think I did this at the beginning of my career, and this is not a right wrong, because you've also got to feel into things for yourself, but we tend to water ourselves down so we can help everyone.
Yeah.
And we can be like, I can work with this and this and this and this and this to show how good I am, versus actually just starting to get a feel for, like, who do I work best with, and who aligns with me, and what am I most knowledgeable in, or what do I enjoy? Like, our goal is not to help everyone when we come into the health profession.
Yes.
But we get really confused in that.
Yeah, I definitely have done that myself, feeling like, because sometimes it may be that you could help lots of different walks of life in lots of different ways.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of therapists do like variety too. Like, we like a variety in the presentation of the people that we are seeing and supporting. However, as you're saying, what you're sharing, Sky, passion is the word that's showing up for me. Like, I love when I feel passionate about supporting other people. And I think somewhere along the lines of trying out all the different you know, people, like different ways you could help people, you figure out what feels best and most comfortable and passionate for you.
Yeah. And I think sometimes the mistake is when we don't listen to that, or we have that voice be a make wrong.
Yes.
Or for me, it was a lot of guilt around, well, I know I could probably help this person, but then I'm not, so therefore I'm not being a health professional. You know, like those stories and beliefs we have in our head about who we are and how we're supposed to show up.
For sure.
Yeah.
For me, what happens is, like, I did a lot of shadow integration work a few years ago, and one of the archetypes that was showing up for me in my shadow was the carer and the rescuer archetype, or the caretaker.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of us probably as therapists may have that.
Absolutely.
And that's probably what was driving my belief that I could support anyone and everything, like anyone and everything.
Yeah.
But the more that I integrated that aspect of myself and know I'm not some knight in shining armor, I'm not here to fix everyone or rescue
It's not about us.
Not at all. That's right. For me, it was
Exactly.
more, once I figured that out and I stopped over-identifying as this person who was able to be a saviour or a fixer or a rescuer, I integrated that shadow aspect and I was better able to go, hey, these are my people.
Yes.
And for me, it is more around people, you know, growing and expanding and healing and, even wanted to talk about that spiritual stuff that I love talking about so much.
When you were talking then, and I know we're going to do another episode on this one, but the word burnout come into my mind, right? Because I think if we mistake I have to help everyone for being the good therapist, then what we're really doing is burning ourselves out and not being available and switched on for the people who we are supporting.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, just seeing where your brain went.
Well, you know, Sky, at the moment I'm making transformation in my own work, and so it's really alive in me at the moment. And I love to dive deeper in another podcast about that soon and share from my own lived experience. So stay tuned if that's you, or it interests you to hear about someone else's journey through that kind of burnout and recalibration in their work.
Yes, because I think too, as therapists, we don't. I don't think we allow for the fact that we also go through seasons as a therapist too, right? And we can very much fuse with this idea of this is what a therapist means. They're the good girl, or they're the carer, or they're the rescuer.
They're always available, and they're just going to say yes when you need an appointment all the time, you know?
Right? Yeah. Versus there's a season that you go through as a therapist, like from early career to when you're kind of in your midst of like being a bit younger and you're so excited and you're in it, and then you get a groove of like, this is what I like. But if we attach too strongly to that therapist role and don't see like Sky behind the therapist, and I know I can do this, right? Or Ali, or whoever it might be, then we don't allow our own natural growth and progression.
That's right. And we might even not allow ourselves at certain times things like even taking a holiday or time away from the therapy room.
Self-care.
Yeah. Or like maybe it is that your daughter transitioned into high school, as yours has recently, and she needs you to pick her up in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right too. Change hours.
Yeah, so I love that you don't have something booked in at that time, so you can duck away, do that, and come back.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be able to still honour all of who you are,
yeah,
alongside the therapist in you.
And the mistake is when we don't give ourselves permission to actually move with that transition and season.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other big mistakes that I've made...
Ali put her finger up then. It's like, well, that's it.
Exactly, because every great leader can go first.
Absolutely, this is good.
Here I am going first again with the whole visibility thing.
Yes.
I'll wait and I'll be seen when I feel comfortable or ready or confident, or when I can say it perfectly, or it's so manicured and polished and it's not going to be misinterpreted. So, and that'll have you in these thought loops stuck for ages, and you're just not going to show up and outside of that space and do what it is you want to do.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I've sat on a program that I've wanted to share with people for like 2 years now, but it's time to launch, guys.
Yes, Ali, we've got to get moving. See, this is the thing too that's really interesting, is that when you're listening to this episode, it's like pulling out the parts that are you, right? Because me with visibility, I'm like, I want to go on TikTok, Ali. Like, I want to be silly. And Ali's like, no, like I need to have it all planned. And we're all different in terms of where our struggles are.
Absolutely.
But learning to kind of understand and know your own is really important, right? And then having someone to talk to and reflect on that's going to support you through it.
And the willingness to challenge yourself.
Yes.
Because if you know your automatic is like Sky, to jump in the deep end and just go straight on TikTok, maybe sometimes it's good to check in and wonder, what are you going to talk about today before you hit the go live button?
Correct.
Or like me, don't get stuck in your headspace overthinking exactly what it's going to be like or every next step that you don't action any of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So challenge yourself.
It's interesting though, right? Because like when I became a therapist, I was like, okay, so what I need to learn is this modality and that diagnosis and that stuff. And then we kind of do the work and we're like, oh my God, fuck, there is so much more beyond the therapy room.
Yes.
That I need to learn about me, about who I am, about how I want to show up, about fucking business.
Yep.
That it's so much more than clinical skills that I don't think I had any concept of understanding that when I first went into this career.
I don't think I did either, but like one thing that I did bring over, which has been really helpful from my community services work, was group work.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the biggest first ways that I started creating beyond the therapy room.
Nice.
Was to sit in group space with you and having those skills already and being integrating them or transferring them from another chapter in my life into this one. That was really great. So sometimes where our deficits or things that we're not sure, like our leadership or our business management and things, but maybe you also have some strengths that you're bringing over too, that are going to support you to launch out of one-on-one spaces and into more creative endeavors, whether that be in a group, a retreat, a paid program, mentoring, whatever.
I love that you just said that, because I think so many people that I talk to, they underestimate the level of skill that they have, because like you were just saying, like we don't, and I didn't even think like this either, is that we've got all this skill that we can transfer that we're not realizing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great point.
And the big one that I want to kind of like finish up with today as well too is wisdom. Like I'll always come back to, yes, we can go to TAFE or uni and learn all the qualifications and have all these approaches and modalities, but you are a beautiful human being who has had so much life experience through your own personal growth and development as well. And the wisdom that you accumulate from that experience is within you. And there's this beautiful thing that happens when you trust yourself in the therapy room and beyond it to just let you be you. Because a lovely kind of like authentic, your way of doing therapy or supporting humans comes through you, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's don't ever forget your own beautiful essence and wisdom that you're bringing to each and every person that you communicate with and connect with and support. Even your colleagues. Like I just had a chat with some of the beautiful therapists in the office here before we sat down to podcast. And it's just, it feels so nice just to share a little piece of yourself with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're doing that with everybody we connect with every day, aren't we?
Yeah. We just don't always give ourselves the credit for it.
That's right. So let's just like kudos to us. High five that one.
High five to everyone listening, right?
We're pretty awesome. Don't ever forget, you know, that you are there in that connection too, and that, just be yourself.
So I think what would be really cool, Ali, maybe if you're listening, I would love for you to connect with us on Instagram, Beyond the Therapy Room. Like, let us know, like, what are maybe, one, some of the mistakes that you find yourself a bit stuck in, but two, like Ali's saying, like, what is the thing about you that maybe you are underestimating?
Yeah.
Like, we'd love to hear from you.
Are there some limiting beliefs that you're really noticing showing up as we're talking today that, you know, you're ready to really look at or let go of? And, just keep noticing. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to see others make mistakes and learn from them too.
Yeah.
And hopefully some of what we've shared today's landed and got you thinking in new and different ways.
And we'll chat to you next time on Beyond the Therapy Room.